cultural needs aren't taken into account at any pantry I've been to. I've been to so many pantries in my life, and it's a lot of, white foods. Like, I don't even know how else to describe them.
Yeah.
And in times when you're having mental health issues because of trauma, because the world around us, because, for whatever reason, just because you're struggling to make it, your cultural foods can be so comforting. Like, they can just be so, so comforting and just what you need.
Cause it's hard to be a person with a body these days when bonkers TikTok diets are all the rage. And why are the seats so damn small on the airplane? Cause it's hard to be a person with a body these days.
You are listening to Burnt Toast. I'm Virginia Soul-Smith. Today my conversation is with Elizabeth Ayiku. Elizabeth is a food justice organizer and founder of the Me Little Me Foundation, a nonprofit committed to advancing food equity and providing free, culturally competent support services for marginalized communities. Based in Los Angeles, Elizabeth works to dismantle the systemic barriers that affect mental health and well-being, emphasizing the importance of meeting basic needs first. Grounded in lived experience, her work reflects a deep commitment to healing and social equity. The foundation's name, drawn from her debut feature film Me Little Me, honors Elizabeth's ongoing mission to uplift marginalized voices and drive long-term change. The Me Little Me Foundation offers a free virtual food pantry for folks in need. They specifically serve people with multiple marginalized identities, folks of color, and folks in eating disorder recovery. And Burnt Toast, we have a challenge for you. We want to raise $6,000 this month to support the Me Little Me Foundation, and when we do, Burnt Toast will match that with another $6,000 grant. You're going to hear more from Elizabeth in this episode about why this work is so important, but I just want to say right now, I really hope you will join us and go to melittlemefoundation.org to support. So here is Elizabeth.
So I was born in the prairies of Canada, to a Caribbean mother, West African father. I'm currently Los Angeles based, and I'm a filmmaker, a food justice organizer, and a nonprofit founder.
That is a lot of very hard jobs that you have.
Thank you.
You sound extremely busy.
I am. It's a lot.
Well, we'll start with the film because that's how we first got connected when you were looking for sponsors for your really incredible film. It's called Me Little Me. Came out in 2022. It is available to stream on Amazon Prime and Apple TV. You were working on this for quite a long time.
Oh,
this was a labor of love project for sure.
Oh my goodness, 100%. Yeah, it was just based on my own lived experience. So in 2009, I went to treatment for eating disorder recovery. I went to IOP, an intensive outpatient program, and I was also working full time while I did it. And yeah, exactly. And so it was like, I don't know, it became this like kind of double life and this big secret I had to hide because life couldn't stop, and I guess that's something that I just never saw portrayed in any mainstream media, film, TV. It was always the person just like checked into inpatient. They had unlimited resources.
Yeah. Thousands and thousands of dollars a day for treatment. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's outrageous. And there was no mention of where this money was coming from. And it was just this really nicely packaged perception of what recovery is. And I was just waiting and waiting to see something that had any semblance of what I'd gone through. And I just couldn't wait anymore. One day I was like, okay, they're not doing it. I'm going to have to be the one to make it. And that's what I did. And like you said, it was a labor of love. So just an indie film, 100%. We didn't have a studio backing us or anything like that. I just literally went to as many organizations as I could and was like, look, I'm trying to make this. Can we have some money? And it took a long time. So yeah, we started shooting maybe at the end of 2018 and 2019.
Oh, wow.
And I know it was before the pandemic. We started shooting principal photography, just getting the shots in, and ran out of money multiple times. There were so many challenges. So when I reached out to you, I was looking for finishing funds. I took a shot and submitted to South by Southwest my work in progress. So that means the sound wasn't done, the color wasn't finalized, but I was like, you know what? It was 2021 by this time. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to shoot my shot and say I did it. I was 100% sure nothing was going to come of it, but I was like, just to say that I did it.
Yeah.
So end of 2001, I submitted, and January 2022 is when they told me we were accepted. And
amazing.
I know I couldn't. It's still, I have to remind myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, that happened.
Yeah, you did it. You did the thing.
I did the thing.
You did the thing.
And then there were a whole bunch of other expenses that came with that. They needed a digital cinema package, which is, is a way to show the movie, professionally, which was like a minimum $1,500 plus.
Oh my God.
I know. Plus, it still wasn't finished. So I just needed someone to do a quick color and sound pass because, my God, I couldn't just show the work in progress. So we just did a quick, rough, just a quick color and sound pass. And I had to hire someone to do that. I was grasping at straws. So yeah, when I reached out to you, I was just like, this is what's happening. This is what my need is. Any help would be so, so appreciated. And you were just amazing. You were like, absolutely. Let's do this.
The story really resonated with me. As a journalist who's written about eating disorder recovery for 2 decades now, I'm very aware of that mainstream narrative that you were talking about and just how many people it doesn't represent and how there's this whole sort of eating disorder industrial complex that's built to sell a certain kind of recovery and center a certain, thin white girl narrative. And it just perpetually frustrates me because everybody I know, whether personally in my own life or people I've interviewed for work who's gone through recovery is like, yeah, it doesn't look anything like that.
Nope, not even a little bit.
And we're doing such a disservice to people. So the fact that you were trying to tell this much more complex story centering a Black woman, I was like, yes, thank you.
Oh.
Someone's trying to get the story out here.
What you described is what I was up against. All of those things, trying to sell that story to the public. And if that's all people are offered, that's what they think the reality is.
And then it just pushes recovery so much further out of reach for people who wouldn't have access to that kind of treatment, the inpatient treatment, expensive options, which also aren't even necessarily the best treatment. It doesn't work for everybody.
Exactly.
It's not a great fit.
Exactly.
And yeah, so we could go on all day with
We
the
could have a
problems.
whole other show about that.
Yes. The point is, the film's incredible. It's out. I want everyone to go stream it now that they can.
Thank you.
What we really want to talk about today is how working on that film then led you to launch the Me Little Me Foundation.
Well, I was working on finishing the film. It was the middle of the pandemic. It was just a hard time. The racial uprisings were happening all around us. And almost everyone I knew was traumatized, just by the world they were witnessing and the combination of being in the middle of a pandemic. And there was just so much need. There was so much need. And people in my community and people I didn't know, just, people online were like, I need resources. I need assistance, but I don't know where to turn. And I don't know if I can. It was too much to just ignore, They were just I don't know what to do. Yeah, so that, the subject matter of the film, plus the world that was happening at the time, I just knew there needed to be something in place that was different than the current resources that were out there. So I came up with the idea for a virtual food pantry where folks are approved up to a certain amount. They make a list of what they need. I shop for them online from a local grocery store that offers delivery, and the groceries are shipped to them for free. So you don't need to have a vehicle. You don't need to live in the correct zip code to get to the good pantry, because that's the thing. And you also get to choose how you want to nourish yourself, because that was important to me too, because there's dignity in being able to choose.
Yeah, and not just being handed a bag of food and this is what you get. Yeah.
Yes, and be grateful. Now move along. Yeah.
Totally.
So I wanted to help with the trauma that was happening and the lack of resources. And I was like, look, cultural needs aren't taken into account at any pantry I've been to. I've been to so many pantries in my life, and it's a lot of, white foods. Like, I don't even know how else to describe them.
Yeah.
And in times of just when you're having, I don't know, mental health issues because of trauma, because the world around us, because, for whatever reason, just because you're struggling to make it, your cultural foods can be so comforting. Like, they can just be so, so comforting and just what you need. And I just wanted to take that into consideration. So that's why I set it up the way I did, where they tell me, and that's what you get.
There's such dignity in that and empowerment for people. I think of this just even like on the level of like me with my own kids, like the idea that I would know what someone else needs to eat on a given day. Like, I don't know what you're hungry for. Like,
Right.
I don't know what you need right now. You know what you need right now. And the fact that so many of our aid systems are not set up to honor that is a huge problem. So I love that you built that into how you're doing this.
Thank you.
And so you're focusing on folks of color who need assistance, and you're also focusing on folks in eating disorder recovery.
Yeah. So basically, folks who hold multiple marginalized identities are really who we serve the most. That's just how it honestly just started happening because of the people I'm connected with online and the places I was advertising this pantry. So many folks in recovery were just like, yeah, because of the recovery models we were talking about earlier, where it's like, you need to always have food available. You need to have snacks. Recovery's been hard for them. Recovery's been hard for me because of that. I don't always have a cupboard full of snacks and multiple choices, because that's something in recovery that we're told, just make sure you... So I'm laughing because they say, fill your pantry. Like, everyone has a pantry. They're like, fill your pantry with all the food you can.
Okay.
So
first they need to get a pantry.
Number one.
Yeah.
Right.
When does that get delivered?
Exactly.
Lord.
So there were so many people in the recovery community like, oh my goodness, this is what I needed. Like, thank you so much. It's impossible to keep myself nourished without this assistance. This has been amazing. And coming from that world, I couldn't have asked for a better outcome. It's beyond hard to recover in this world we're living in without assistance. A large, maybe like 65% of who we serve are actively in recovery or currently have an eating disorder. And there's also a large population of folks with disabilities. So people who are mobility impaired, or even young people and youth who don't have a car to get somewhere. There's so many folks with multiple marginalized identities who rely on us. It's beyond what I even thought.
Are you focusing on a particular geographic area?
The question, it's nationwide. Because it's virtual, that's another thing I wanted to not be a barrier. Like, you need to live in this city, this state. So it's nationwide. If you can apply online, if you have access to a computer, I'm trying for accessibility purposes to, have another way to apply as well. But as of now, you apply online and you can be anywhere. And as long as you live somewhere that has a local grocery store that delivers, then you can use our services.
That's really, really great. So as you're working in this food justice space, obviously what you're doing is like immediate need. Like, people need to eat today. People are working on their recovery. They need access to food. Obviously, the reason it is so dire that these like, how is this person eating today need is not being met is because of many larger structural failings in our system.
Absolutely.
So how do you think about like, okay, I'm trying to put out this immediate fire, but like, we need so much larger change as well. How do you kind of hold that together?
That is something I always think about. Sometimes it does make me sad because I'm like, oh, is this just, a Band-Aid for, something systemic? But I believe that what we're doing can eventually be just the way folks are given the resources they need. It doesn't need to be what we've always had. Why can't you just pick? Why does it have to be food that might not be good anymore, like expiring, not fresh, that's offered? Why is that the only thing that we're saying is acceptable? So I'm really trying to get the word out that, hey, we're doing something that's working. And yes, It's for folks who are facing food insecurity now, but all these organizations that have these elaborate setups where they're pre-boxing things, you can do it a different way.
So you're kind of creating a new model that hopefully other organizations will replicate.
Absolutely.
And as your organization continues to grow, this is something you can scale up, because the way you've designed it, that you're, helping connect people to their local grocery store, like this isn't you needing to build some whole infrastructure of warehouses of food.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's eliminated. We don't have to pay rent to store a bunch of boxed items. So, I mean, I don't think people are looking at things like that, with the current systems that are in place.
And obviously, it would be amazing if programs like SNAP and welfare were providing more resources for folks. But given the current political climate, where we're going to be lucky to hold on to any social safety net we have.
Like any.
Yeah.
And how I was saying earlier, middle of pandemic, people were just so traumatized. People were just kind of numb and I don't know what to do. I need food to eat though. I'm seeing it now again, this year, the same. I'm like, whoa, this is like history repeating.
I think people are feeling a lot of the same panic and burnout and uncertainty about what's happening next. Everything's feeling extremely unstable.
Absolutely.
In the same way. So making sure people have a way to feed themselves today. It's something we can do. It's there is all this bigger change that needs to happen.
Yeah.
We can contribute to that how we can, but also this kind of direct aid to people getting fed today is something that we can do and really is crucial, because we can't do the rest if people are needing.
Exactly.
This is the starting point. I mean, I've worked on pieces about childhood hunger over the years, and I know you're focusing more on adults, but it blows my mind how often organizations that work on hunger have to show the research to convince people that kids can't learn if they're hungry.
Oh, absolutely.
School lunch matters because kids can't learn. And it's just why did we need to have to do a study? How is that?
That's the question.
Why did you need data? That's just
yes.
obvious.
They need to see the numbers.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to me. It's when I tell folks stuff based on my lived experience of going to pantries, not having enough, or not having access in my area. They're like, oh, okay, we just need, type that all up and we need to see where you got that data. And I'm just like, where I got that data from my life,
Yeah.
And so many people I know, but that blows my mind that the amount of data folks are requesting when it comes to food insecurity.
We shouldn't have to explain it or justify it. It should just be obvious that people need enough food to eat. That's the baseline. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So this is why Burnt Toast, we have a mission, which is our goal is to raise $6,000 by June 1st for the Me Little Me Foundation to support Elizabeth's virtual free food pantry project. And when we reach that $6,000 goal, Burnt Toast, the newsletter and podcast, will match that with a matching $6,000 grant. So we have a chance to raise $12,000 for Me Little Me to help them make a big push on this work. So tell us a little bit about, what those funds will mean for your organization. What are we going to help you do? And then, of course, what do folks need to do to donate?
Oh, my goodness. So, it would just help us so immensely. So just to break it down based on actual research I've done myself and feedback from the community, $100 worth of groceries equals being able to make a minimum of 20 home-cooked meals. So $6,000, that's literally 1,200 home-cooked meals that we could provide.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it would help us so much because we always have more applications than the resources. It's crushing that applications will be open for 24 hours and we have to shut them down because we're just so overwhelmed and say, I'm so sorry, please try back. Next quarter, I'm trying to raise more money. I'm not going to let you all down, but it would help us immensely. And
amazing.
The matching grant, oh my gosh, that's just, I'm trying to play it cool. This is my cool and collected voice, but I'm squealing inside.
Well, I think what you're doing is so important. And we have like over 65,000 people on the burnt toast list. Like, guys, this is not a big ask for anyone. A few bucks will cover one of these meals
Right.
that we're trying to raise money for.
Mm-hmm.
If you have $100, great. That's
Yeah.
20 meals you've covered. This is the kind of like community effort that is giving me hope right now. That's making me feel like the entire world's not falling off a cliff. Like, we can get this done. And
Yeah.
I think actually we can exceed this goal. And then the second piece of our challenge is, if you're able, please become a monthly donor to Me Little Me, whether that's, $5 a month you can give,
Mhm.
$100 a month if you want to buy 20 meals a month, like do it. More, do it. But we are setting a goal to add 25 new recurring donors to their rosters. So Burnt Toast is already a recurring donor, but we want 25 of you to sign up to be a recurring donor. And again, like, take whatever gift you were going to give and break that up monthly and do it that way, because recurring donations are really critical to organizations like this. And you can speak a little bit to why that matters so much.
Yeah, because the need is ongoing. We're inundated every time we open the pantry, and the recurring donations will, I think, help us reach our ultimate goal of being able to see real systemic change and, like, have this just be something that's in place. So, of course, yes, please, if you're able to just, give a few dollars, of course, we would love that. But if you can support us on a monthly basis in any capacity, it'll just be such a big weight off of the shoulders of so many folks who rely on these services.
Recurring donations help nonprofits plan. It's money they can rely on and actually like look ahead and not just be scrambling. So, in general, when you're doing giving, it's always great to do monthly if you can. And
you said
specifically here. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the scramble. That's the perfect word. Like every time. Yeah, I get a little stressed every time we open the pantry.
Of course, yeah. Well, I am really excited. I really appreciate you reaching out and giving us this opportunity to support what you're doing. I think it's so meaningful and so important. And Burnt Toast, let's get it done.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, so we end every episode of Burnt Toast with a segment I call Butter, which is just something we are loving right now. So, Elizabeth, what is your butter right now?
Oh, so something I discovered, I think, by accident. It's painting on burlap. Like, so the material that they make sacks out of.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so random.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, they sell it at craft stores, and there was just some on sale. And I have just regular, paints at home from like ages ago that I just didn't want to throw away. And I stuck some burlap on like a piece of wood and just started painting it. And it just was so soothing. Just, I don't know, the surface of it. And
the texture.
Yes. Just painting over the burlap. And I was like, oh my gosh, do people know about this? Like,
I did not. This is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So not painting on canvas, on burlap material. And just even if you make a mistake, it still looks nice.
Wow. What kind of paint are you using?
Oh, just like paint. It was literally paint that you would get at a hardware store. Like if you were
painting your house.
The wall.
Yeah.
So they have specific fabric paint because I'm going down a rabbit hole with it. Now I'm looking, but that works just fine. Like if you go to a hardware store and get a sample size, because that's what I had, like a bunch of little samples. So I just started painting words on the burlap and making little, I don't know, like gift things. And it was just so, I don't know, soothing. So that's just a really random accidental.
I love that. That's a great butter.
Thank you.
I've been noticing a little trend with guests where a lot of the butters people are really drawn to something that like gets them off their phone, off the computer, like kind of like an absorbing project. Like absorbing projects have been a trend in butters. And I am a big fan. I mean, I'm a big like jigsaw puzzler person, gardener, like these like tactile things that like get us out of our heads a little bit are just great.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah. Well, my butter is going to be somewhat related, and it's a repeat butter. I've recommended it before, but we have this great bird feeder. It's called the Bird Buddy, and it has a camera in it. So it takes pictures of the birds for you and sends them to your phone. And that bird feeder is a really great bird feeder. It's not cheap, but they do go on sale from time to time. I will link to it. But anyway, we moved the feeders to a new part of the garden, and we hung up also our hummingbird feeder and another type of feeder. And just all of the birds that are coming now are making me so happy.
I can imagine. Oh, wow.
I mean, I'm like so that mom. I'm like, guys, there's more goldfinches. Have you seen the goldfinches? And one of my kids loves birds and one of them doesn't care. But even I'm like being a little excessive. And they're like, okay, yes, we see it. But I think it's the same thing of like, I'm needing like beauty that's not in the internet that's like taking me away, you know?
Absolutely.
And they're so soothing to watch. And so bird feeders, specifically the camera one's really fun, but bird feeders in general is my butter today.
Nice. Oh, now I want to see the photos of the birds.
Oh, I'll send you some.
Please.
It's pretty exciting. Yeah. And it's like makes me like my phone a little more because now like when I have a notification, it's like, there's a titmouse on your bird feeder. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's great.
I love it.
Yeah. So, Elizabeth, thank you so much. Let's just remind everyone again how to support you, how to donate to Me Little Me. Tell us all the things.
Yeah, you can go to melittlemefoundation.org, and there's a donate page where you can make a one-time donation or become a recurring donor. And you can get updates on our Instagram. So at Me Little Me Foundation, you can also get updates about my film on Me Little Me at Me Little Me Film on Instagram.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I'm very excited. And we will, of course, keep everyone posted on how the fundraiser drive is going. So while you're listening to me in your ears, go do the donation right now so you don't forget. You're welcome. Elizabeth, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Virginia.
Thanks so much for listening to Burnt Toast. If you'd like to support the show, please subscribe for free in your podcast player and tell a friend about this episode and leave us a rating or review. You can also consider a paid subscription to the Burnt Toast newsletter, but I'm going to say this week, if you were thinking about spending that $7 a month, I want you to spend it at Me Little Me Foundation instead and become a recurring supporter of their work. That said, if you want to do both, there's a link in your episode description or go to virginiasolsmith.substack.com. The Burnt Toast podcast is produced and hosted by me, Virginia Soul-Smith, and Corinne Fay. You can follow me on Instagram at @V_Soulsmith. You can follow Corinne Fay at Sell Trade Plus, an Instagram account where you can buy and sell plus-size clothing. And subscribe to Corinne's newsletter, Big Undies, at bigundies.substack.com. The Burnt Toast logo is by Deanna Lowe, our theme music is by Faraday, and Tommy Herron is our audio engineer. Thanks for listening and supporting anti-diet, body liberation journalism.